The doctor will see you now. I had the perfect excuse to touch his body, even though I knew it was wrong. Story provided by Sarah in New South Wales, Australia. I was still at the clinic when my phone rang at 7 p.m. "What time are you going to be home, love?" my boyfriend Eric, 26, asked. "I'm starving." "I've got one more patient to see," I said. "Why don't you order yourself a pizza?" It would never have occurred to him to cook something for himself, or God forbid, bake me something for dinner. Eric had been like this ever since I'd started working in a rehabilitation clinic at a private hospital 3 years earlier. I worked long hours trying to fit in as many patients as possible, but all Eric seemed to care about was what time I was coming home to look after him. His lack of support really frustrated me. I loved my job, and working with patients with anything from broken bones to lost limbs to severe neurological disorders. I found restoring as much of their mobility as possible very rewarding. I looked at my diary and saw that my next appointment was with a new patient. My notes said that he was 28 years old, called Stephen, and that he was a semi-professional rugby player who'd broken his leg in a nasty tackle. He was out of the plaster now, but needed to strengthen his leg before he could return to the sport. There was a light knock at the door and Stephen limped through. He had the classic rugby player build, a nose that had clearly been broken and a cauliflower ear. "Nice to meet you, doctor," he said, shaking my hand. "Please, call me Sarah," I replied. We spent the next hour working on some gentle exercises and started to get to know each other. "Not being able to exercise is driving me mad," Stephen complained. "I can't wait to get back out there." "I know exactly what you mean," I said. "I'm an avid cycler, and I'd hate it if I couldn't get on my bike." Once again, the thought of Eric's laziness annoyed me. At the end of the session, Steve booked in for the following week. I couldn't help but buzz with excitement at the thought of seeing him again. Even finding Eric asleep on the sofa with an empty pizza box on his lap when I got home couldn't dampen my pleasure. A week later, Stephen was back in my office. We chatted like old friends, and I loved having the perfect excuse to touch his muscular body. There was definite chemistry between us too. Whenever Stephen spoke to me, he looked right into my eyes. I had to try so hard not to blush. We continued with regular sessions for the next 6 weeks. Eric complained endlessly about my long hours, but I didn't care. I knew it was wrong, but I was falling in love with Stephen. By the end of his final session, he was fit as a fiddle. "You fixed me," he said. He went in for a handshake, but at the last second he changed his mind and wrapped his arms around me. We both knew it was inappropriate, but the embrace was electric. I looked up at Stephen, and the next thing I knew, we were kissing. We had sex right there in my office. Afterwards, I was riddled with guilt. Not only had I cheated on my boyfriend, but I'd breached my medical oath. I phoned Stephen later that night and told him nothing more could happen between us. He was upset, but he understood. I'm still with Eric, but every day I think about Stephen and wonder if I had made the biggest mistake of my life by letting him go.
Like the 5-minute story you just listened to? Check out our channel for more 5-minute movies and click the subscribe button below to be notified once we publish another story. If you'd like to submit a 5-minute story to us, please send us a message through YouTube. If you'd like to stay anonymous, we can change your name for the story, but remember, your story does have to be true. Take care and keep listening.